Hello. Welcome back.
Welcome back to us.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, exactly. We've been away for a while, and we'll talk about that.
Our apologies.
Yeah. But I was also I was going to say this to you before we started recording, but I was thinking maybe we should keep up with doing it a little bit less frequently and doing it when we have good ideas for podcasts, not putting pressure on ourselves to do it every week.
Well, I think we had a good schedule for a while, and it was fine. Even if we forgot to do it, we would do it on Saturday night or even Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We just have to actually do it. We're getting lazy. It's not that one of the reasons that we haven't been podcasting lately is because Gag's been working full time. And you've been really tired, so on the weekends, you have no time during the week to do it, and then on the weekends, you just want to relax. And I
have to catch up on school too.
I mean, you do school at work.
Yeah, but if I haven't gotten everything done, then the only time to do it is on the weekend. That's what I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Okay.
That's how the schedule has worked.
But we could still podcast.
Yeah,
There's still time.
We could make time.
Sleeping in, I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.
Especially for you. I get up early anyways. But...
Well, I find when you're working a schedule that's every day you wake up early, I was working on a show, and on that show I had to get up at 6 every morning because I had to be there at 7:30. I wanted to make sure I got there in time to have breakfast and stuff like that. So that you get into that routine, and then on the weekends when I would sleep in, I'd feel more tired during the day than I would if I just did a 14-15 hour work day. So, and that was the other thing, was the reason why I would be so tired by the weekends is because my days were a minimum 12 hours minimum, which is great for pay and whatnot. And it's funny because my other job, maximum I could do was 8 hours, and after an 8-hour shift, I'd be way more tired than after a 14-hour shift at this other job. And it's just because I enjoyed it a lot more, this other job. And hopefully I'll be going back to it because we'll talk about this too. But the whole virus thing that's going on, a lot of things are put on hold. And I'm sure a lot of people are in this similar situation as me. Luckily, I'm not too worried about money, which is good because I have a lot of family support and I don't have a lot of expenses. So I'm able to save my money. Which works out well for this kind of situation.
We have similar situations, but also different because I've been sick. I've been sick for a few weeks. I don't even know how long anymore.
I think it's 2 weeks. You're almost completely better now though.
But the problem was, so the week before I got sick, I didn't have any work. And then I got sick and they said you can't work. You can't, if you're sick, you have to stay home. And then I was sick for 2 weeks. And now it's the industry shut down. So I haven't been there's been no money in for me. And I don't work full time. I work, it's kind of on call. If they need a stand-in for the day, they cast it, kind of. It's so hard to describe, the day before.
Yeah.
And so I just do day calls. I just do one day at a time. And it feels so weird not having any money in. You're getting paid for your time off, for 2 weeks, right?
Which is technically not what they were going to do because I'm categorized the same as you. I only get confirmed for the next day, the day before. But they had agreed to use me for the whole show.
But
for
it was
the whole season.
A verbal agreement, right?
It was a verbal agreement.
There was no contract.
There was no actual contract signed. So I was going to mention that too when you were just talking about that was... I don't know whether it's one of my coworkers who is the same position as me spoke out because the way the hierarchy works on set is very interesting. We don't answer to we do work for the director, but the person we answer to is actually the person who's in charge of the cinematography and the lighting. So if you have a good relationship with them, then you can say, hey, didn't you agree that you were going to use us for 2 weeks? And you have a lot of say, so you can just go talk to payroll or something like that. I don't know if that's what happened on this show. I just got told I was being paid 2 weeks cancellation because that's how long they said they were going to be off. If they extend it, I don't expect to be paid any more than I already did. I think it's very generous that the production was hey, here's pretty much the minimum I would make because it was just for the I was what I was doing on set was more than one job, so I ended up making more money than I would have if I was just working the one job. Plus overtime. So I was making the minimum. They paid me the minimum, which again already is like a pretty decent paying job. So I'm much more happy working this job than I was, my other job. No offense to my other employers, but to each his own, right?
But I know it's so different for everybody else, like anybody else, I mean, because the thing is, for us, like, the film industry pushed as long as they could. They were like, we're not shutting down, like, until basically the union was like, you guys have to shut down. It's not safe. It's not safe for your workers. And it's weird, because they said 2 weeks, but some people are saying 6 months, and other people are saying, oh yeah, just a couple months. But it's like, we have no idea. Like, for now, it's indefinitely. It's like school. In BC, in the province that we live in, school has been put on hold indefinitely. Like, they have no idea when they're going back.
Mm-hmm. And that's that way across most of Canada, except for, I think, Ontario.
Ontario, they just said 2 extra weeks after spring break.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to see how it is then.
Yeah, there are some schools that are saying, like, or some districts that are saying, like, all the way until September. Like the new school year.
Alberta.
That's in Alberta, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting. But it's interesting to see the progression of, I guess you'd say, like, not laws, but like things that were being pushed to change progressively normally are being sped up immensely now because you have no choice, right? Like EI for people in the gig economy, which is technically the economy that we work in, like jobs that aren't full-time, they're just day by day, right?
Yeah.
But they're consistent work, right? And we do, like, in the acting industry and the film industry in general, our unions do give us benefits, but they're nothing near like a government job, or even my other job where it was government funded, but it wasn't actually a government job. Like, if you worked full-time there, you'd get full benefits.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, great benefits.
And your spouse gets the exact same benefits that you do, and your children, like, it's crazy.
Yeah. Whereas in our business, like, I get, right now with the amount of money I'm making, I get 50% of my dental covered. Like, it's not very much, right? But it's something.
Yeah,
and same thing with, like, up to a certain amount for chiropractor and physical therapy and stuff like that, and same thing, like, up to a certain amount for eye care. Like, I'm lucky, I'm a healthy individual. I rarely take care, like, I haven't been to the dentist in a while. I take good care of my teeth. I take good care of myself. I recently had to go get a refill of my asthma medication just because that time of year my asthma does flare up, and I thought, well, if I get sick, people with respiratory problems with this specific virus are at risk more. So I thought I might as well prepare myself.
You thought you might as well prepare yourself? I had to force you to go get them.
No, you encouraged me. I've been saying for months that I should go get them refilled. I've just been lazy and procrastinating because
I was like, you're not coming home. Right after work, you're going to the doctor. Although now, PSA, people in BC, you don't have to go to the doctor to get a refill. You can just go straight to the pharmacy and they'll trust your word.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I thought you had to just, a lot of clinics you can call now. You can just do it over the phone.
No, they say that you don't need a doctor's prescription. Like, you have to have had it before. So I think you have to go to, like, the pharmacy that you usually go to get your refill,
It's funny because every time I get my asthma medication refilled, it's like I've been having this medication since I was 2 years old, right? Almost every year I get it filled. And every time I go and get it refilled, they print out the history. It shows me and it shows them exactly which ones I've gotten and what year, what date. And every time they're like, have you had this before? And I'm like, yep. They're like, you know how to use it? I'm like,
they have to ask that.
Yeah, no, I know they have to, but it's like, it just makes me laugh sometimes.
I just want to quickly mention that in our last podcast, I don't remember what we said. And I don't know how factual we were. Like, we're just an opinion channel. You know what I mean? Like, it's a podcast. It's our opinion. And it's what we think of the world and whatever's going on. So if we were wrong, like, please fact check us. But also don't come attack us because we didn't explore some conspiracy theories that you guys are into. Like, we got attacked by somebody and it was like, come on, like...
Okay, here's the thing. I checked what we had said. Yeah. I looked up some of the stuff. I went to reputable websites like the CDC, right? Anything that ends in a .org, .gov, you can trust that. And I looked up that stuff. I was not incorrect in what I was saying. I was just talking about the virus, classifying what kind of virus it was, how it operates, how it compares to other viruses that may be similar. My mom's a nurse, a medical health professional. She has a master's in public health education. If I say something wrong, she's going to tell me I'm wrong. And
she did say one thing. She said, don't compare it to TB, because that's what we did in the podcast. Yeah. We said, look at this, comparing like vaccines.
Yes. And I just thought, here's a mass thing. TB is not the same, right? It's not the same thing. She did tell me of another thing to compare it to, but I can't remember what that was. It doesn't matter. But at the same time, she didn't say that we were wrong.
No.
So I think a good thing to think of is not look for who is wrong and attack them. Try and just find a reputable source. Ask yourself, am I correct to ask these questions? Am I hurting anybody by asking these questions or saying these things, right? Because, for example, I do not go on Facebook and read something and think that it's true. Anything, even if it's like a friend saying a story. Facebook is not reputable at all. Same thing with Wikipedia. I like looking at Wikipedia for history of things, but not for educating myself with concrete facts. I'm currently enrolled in university, and when I do have something that I really want to look up, I go onto the university library and try and find peer-reviewed papers on that subject.
And I also just want to say, like, you can still challenge us on things. Like, I'm not saying that, but, like, one specific person that I'm talking about, like, was attacking my mom and, like, basically telling us that, like, we're stupid for not believing the same things that they believe. And we asked them to cite their sources, and they wouldn't. They just told us to Google it, and when we Googled it, there was nothing there. So, like, if you're gonna, like, if you want to have a debate, sure, that's fine. I love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I love learning things, and I love educating myself, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But just don't be rude.
Yeah. And in most other situations, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But with this, it directly correlates with people's safety.
Yeah.
And if you're spreading misinformation, that can be really dangerous because people can do things that aren't safe. Like, for example, I had a coworker who sent me a text. I actually should talk to her about this. That was saying basically, if you stay hydrated, you can't get the virus, because if the virus enters your mouth and you swallow it, right, it attaches to your saliva and you swallow it, your stomach acid will kill it. That is not how viruses work. Otherwise, they wouldn't be telling you to not touch your face, right? Because if you touched your eyes, you can absorb it through your eyes. It gets into your body. It doesn't, like, stick to your skin. I mean, it can stick to your skin, but it doesn't, like, you know what I mean? It's not like you digest it and you kill it. That's not how it works.
No, absolutely not.
So if you get, like, a text like that, because that was a chain letter text that was going out that I was actually seeing a couple of places and people were posting it on social media, that, like, be very careful with that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like in the past you get an email and it's like, oh, that's obviously a chain letter, right? Things are a little sneakier now.
And I just want to say one more thing, and then we should probably talk about something lighter. I don't want to have a, like, coronavirus part 2 podcast. In our last podcast, like, we may have downplayed the virus a little bit, and it's not to make light of it or to, like, tell you guys that it's not a big deal. It's, like, for our own anxiety and mental health, like, we want to kind of, like, distance ourselves a little bit, and we don't want, like, people to freak out and spread this, like, mass hysteria. Like, we're self-isolating. We're not, like, we're social distancing. Yeah,
the only reason we go out is to buy things that we need, like food. So.
And, like, we urge you guys to do that as well. But don't let it get to you. Like, don't let it affect your mental health, because that will be detrimental to your body.
Some good resources for things if you're feeling alone. call a friend,
yeah.
text a friend, go on to Twitch or something like that, watch a live stream, get in the chat, talk to people, be friendly, call your grandma, something like that.
Yeah.
Right? I just want to say one more thing related to the coronavirus thing. I said before, my mom's a nurse. Right now, she's working in emergency department on the front lines. She's feeling very isolated herself because she doesn't want to visit family. She doesn't want to visit. My grandma lives very close to where she's working. My mom doesn't want to visit my grandma because she's about to be like 89, I think. And my grandma's like, oh, come stay with me. But my mom's like, no, I don't want to risk it. Especially with like, she's at a high risk category age kind of thing. So, you know, just think about your local and, you know, even general region area medical health professionals. They're working very hard, and not only is it difficult for them because they have to work long hours and be extra careful, but also they're worried about their own safety and the safety of their loved ones, because they're worried that the PPE, it's called the personal protection equipment, isn't going to work, right? Because we're kind of everyone's grabbing it here and there and trying to use it, and there's like people are saying don't use the surgical masks, and it's for two reasons. It's because they're not really designed to protect you as much as protect people around you from yourself, and also the medical health professionals need them for their own protection.
So don't hoard.
Don't hoard.
Also, like where my dad works, it's like they rely heavily on cleaning supplies, and they can't find them anywhere. Like they have a supplier, just like a warehouse that supplies them with these sanitizers and what are they called? Other cleaning
like
supplies.
Gloves and masks and cleaning supplies, kind of everything.
And people are stealing their shipments.
Yeah. From
the warehouse.
And
like,
they're not stealing them because they want to be safe. They're stealing them to make a profit.
Exactly. And these are people that need them. Like my dad works for a organization that helps homeless people and people with mental health issues.
People who can't protect themselves.
Yeah.
So if you're
gonna be
if you're hoarding, then you're putting people who can't protect themselves in more danger.
Yeah.
And I mean the thing is, and this is with a lot of metropolitan areas, like in ours, there's talk of if the homeless population gets this virus, they're done, right? They're already at a high risk factor because of their health and the environment they live in. And if they get it, they're done.
So just don't be selfish. Remember that other people need it. If you feel like, if you're not immunocompromised and you're not like in the demographic that is like impacted worse than the rest, then consider only buying one bottle of hand sanitizer.
Yeah. Or find other ways to keep yourself safe, like social distancing. You don't have to go out. I just watched a funny TikTok that was like the roles reversed, right? Like the parent wants to go out and drink with his buddies, and the son's like, no, you can't go out. And then the dad's like, oh, but Jason's son let him go out. Jason's dad could go out, and then it's like, well, I'm not Jason or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, millennial. So, let's put that to rest. Let's talk about things that we can do to stay positive during this time.
Well, the one thing we already talked about is calling friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like talking to my family every day. I mean, I already talk to my family a lot. We talk every week. But like, I've been pretty much talking to like my mom, my dad, my grandma every day on the phone.
Yeah.
And I talk to my best friend Caitlin every day on Instagram. I've actually been interacting with a lot more people on social media lately, because a lot more people are at home just like hanging out. And someone on my social media was like, hey guys, feeling a little down, if you could send me like dog videos or something. So I went on TikTok, downloaded a whole bunch of dog videos and sent them, and they were like, thank you so much, that really helps.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like try to stay positive and interact with your fellow humans. We're all in this together. Yeah.
I bought a DS because Erika's had a DS for a long time. I had a DS like when it first came out, and then I sold it. And I'm like, I should get a DS too so we can play games together. And I bought a DS, and then I figured out how to like kind of hack it a little bit. And now I can download whatever games I want. And I'm gonna sneeze. Excuse me.
Sorry, pardon me. I'm still sick. I have more energy now, but I'm still coughing.
As far as we know, Erika didn't have the coronavirus.
No.
right now is cold and flu season. So there's a lot of other stuff that's going around.
And it's allergy season.
And it's allergy season.
There's so many things going around. Like, if you have a cough or like a sore throat, don't be like, oh my God, I have COVID. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, take a deep breath. There's so many other flus and colds going around. Like, you're safe. It's if you have a fever, if you have trouble breathing, then call the line. Or if you need to go into emergency, call first and let them know that you might have it when you're going in. I know we said we were going to stop talking about it, but I want you guys to be safe and you know.
Yeah. Anyways, and we also bought a Wii too. Like, we bought a secondhand Wii. And it's funny because, like, you think, oh, these are outdated, right? But the cool thing is you can hack them and download their ROMs, and it's a little less, like, you know, you're not worried about stealing money from people, because if you bought this stuff secondhand, the money wouldn't be going to the publishers and the creators originally anyways, so...
We couldn't afford a Switch, so that's why we got a Wii.
Yeah.
Because we really wanted to play Animal Crossing, and so that's why we've been playing on our DSs, and we've been playing on the Wii.
Yeah.
And it's just so fun.
Yeah. And it's something to do, and, like, we play Wii Sports. It keeps us a little bit active in the house, kind of thing.
I want to get the board for Wii Fit.
Yeah.
I want to play Wii Fit.
Yeah, I've never played Wii Fit. We didn't have it when I was growing up.
My best friend had it when I was in high school, and I used to just, like, I'd come over to her house, and she's like, so, what do you want to do? You can go play outside? I'm like, we play Wii Fit. She's like, oh, okay, fine. I was obsessed. There's one exercise where, like, you walk across a tightrope.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's really fun.
There's one that I could download for VR.
Oh.
Yeah, the tightrope one. And that sounds so scary. I don't like heights.
I can walk across a tightrope in real life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I used to be able to as well. I think I took, like, 1 day of circus training when I was a kid.
I went to circus camp for spring break, and it was so fun.
Nice.
Yeah. I learned so many things. I want to do it again. There's actually a circus school near us.
Yeah.
I would love to do that. I don't know why I pointed, like...
Yeah, the direction that it's
school.
in. It's that way.
That's funny. What else?
Yeah, I've been doing more, like, cooking at home.
You are so good.
I'm good at cooking?
Yeah.
Thank you. Baked banana bread yesterday. It was delicious.
It is amazing.
Oh, by the way, when this video comes out, it'll be my birthday.
Yeah,
so happy 24th to me.
I was going to say champagne, but no.
No, that was 2 years ago.
I know, and we missed it. Every day leading up to his birthday, we were like, we got to get the champagne. And then the day after his birthday, we were like, oh my God, the champagne!
I'm not even a big fan of champagne.
I know, but it's like a thing you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, even I had champagne on my champagne birthday. I was 12. My dad was like, you can have a tiny bit of champagne.
First time I had champagne, I was 16. It was at my agent's wedding. And I actually really liked it. But they had really high quality champagne. Like, it was really, I think it was really expensive.
Can I just say something that we've been doing for a little while that we haven't really talked about? Because, I don't know, I kind of feel weird about it.
Sure.
But we've started drinking more beer.
Yeah.
Gig has his bartending license. I don't know. You've taken a course.
I'm a certified bartender.
There we go.
Yeah, I have a thing up on the wall that says I've met the requirements for graduation of a 100-hour curriculum.
And I've never been a big drinker. I drank a lot as a teenager. I was very rebellious. A lot of people don't know this about me because I put off such a sweet exterior.
You're so innocent.
Well, no, I am a sweet person, okay? But I had a dark side. No, I'm just joking.
You had a wild side.
I had some mental health issues as a teenager, and I drank a lot and went to parties and stuff like that. And I know a lot of people do that in their 20s, and it's kind of like normal, but like when you do it as a teenager, like, you're still developing, and like it's not really safe, so I don't recommend it. But for a long time, I was really scared of drinking because like something traumatic happened to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have a bad association with drinking.
Well, no, it's not necessarily drinking. It's like anything that alters how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. I'm never doing anything again that's like that makes me feel not normal. So I was like, I'm not drinking ever again. And I didn't drink for a long time. And then you didn't drink till you were legal age.
Yeah, and when we first started dating, like, I was super against like underage drinking, and it was more of a safety thing. It wasn't like, oh, there's something wrong with you if you drink underage. It was the same reason as you just mentioned, like like, you know, development, and I just sort of...
Well, and you abide by the laws as well. You're very... No, I'm serious.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. That's a big part of it as well. But that's long hair on my hands. But don't touch your face, people. Yeah. Wash your hands.
But I just want to say, you don't have to wash your hands every 5 minutes if you're staying inside. Like, it's just if you go out, you gotta wash your hands.
I wash my hands a lot at home because I do go out occasionally for things, right? And I have a father who lives with us who's going to be 70 this year, so he's also kind of in that high-risk demographic. And he goes out. He still goes to work every day, so I try to keep the place, like, you know, we have wipes, sanitize things occasionally, and I wash my hands for my own safety and for his. So,
anyways, back to the drinking. So you didn't drink till you were legal.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't really drink that much anyways.
No.
I didn't really enjoy it until, like, recently-ish.
Yeah, when you got your bartending license, you started, like, experimenting more with drinks.
I originally wasn't really like, oh, I really want to get my bartending license. We were living in LA, and I had absolutely nothing to do. Kind of reminds me of this social isolation kind of situation where I did have a couple of friends, but they were always busy and working and... didn't have much time.
And lived kind of
far away from me. And I was trying to pursue acting at the time in LA, and it was like my agent sucked. And they weren't getting me auditions. They weren't really listening to what I wanted. And so it was kind of like I was kind of forced into social distancing at the time, and that's why I'm actually having a pretty okay time with this right now, because I've had to do that a couple times where I've been in that situation. I've had almost no choice but to be socially isolated.
Whereas I'm going a little crazy because I was already off work for like 2 weeks or whatever beforehand.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh my God. And like, I didn't want to be around, because we already knew about the virus. So I didn't want to be around like my friend Caitlin. She wouldn't have minded like if I was sick and being around her, but she has a daughter who's very young. She's 9 months old. So it's like, I didn't want to risk it making her sick.
Yeah.
Especially since we didn't know what I had. Like, I was very certain that it wasn't COVID, but you never know, right?
Yeah. But anyways, you were saying we've been drinking beer.
Yeah, we started drinking beer. I don't know when it changed. I think my mental health got a little better and I just felt safer and more comfortable. And it's basically just this year that we've started drinking beer. And we've kind of made a little game of it. We buy, the liquor store near us sometimes has a sale where it's like if you buy 4, you get 30% off or something.
Yeah, and they're like single cans. Yeah. And they have a lot of like craft brewery there.
So we buy a lot of different flavors. And then I have like a chart and I like list them all and then we rate them out of 10.
Yeah.
And it's been fun.
Yeah,
it's been
it
nice.
has been.
And we don't get drunk. We just like enjoy a beer every once in a while.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I like drinking and I could drink fairly often, but I never drink more than 2 drinks over like even a period of like 4 or 5 hours, unless I'm like celebrating like once or twice a year. I'll have a little bit more, but I don't really like. With my own mental health too, it's like I find I try to be really careful, because if I drink either consistently for a long period of time or a lot more closer together, then I start to feel it, right? Alcohol is a downer kind of. What's the word?
Depressant?
It's a depressant influencer. You know what I mean? It's an alcohol, right? It's what's the word I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Anyways, and you have to be sort of self-aware, realize, how it's affecting you, because I do find that, if over a period of time I will feel kind of closer to depressed, and I do take a break. I back off from it. I find some other things to take up my time. I luckily don't have any trouble with like control. Yeah. So,
I have an addictive personality.
I think a lot of people do, though. I think it's like almost hardwired into us nowadays.
It's also enabling yourself, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like some people, it's not that they're addicted. It's more like, why not? You know what I mean? It's like.
Yeah, they don't. It's a certain introspective thing that you need to learn.
Yeah, because it's like they can stop any time. Like they literally can. It's not like they're addicted to it.
Yeah, it's not.
But they just do it because it's there.
Yeah, or there's nothing stopping them.
Yeah.
right? I think I was lucky because of the way I was raised, and I'm the youngest, so I had examples.
Yeah.
And my mom's in the medical field, so I had a lot of education just at home about what's healthy, what's not, what's risky, right? So find what, like, with the social distancing, that's what it's called. I'm not drunk right now. With the social distancing, sometimes drinking can be fun, but also be careful. I think that's what we're trying to say.
Well, everything in moderation. Like, you want to get drunk, go ahead. Just don't get blackout drunk. You know what I mean? Like, like, know your limits.
Yeah.
And we're not judging you if you drink. We're not judging you if you don't drink. We don't care either way.
And
just be safe.
I, for a very long time, was like, I'm never going to drink. Never, ever. When I was, like, 17, 18, that was my outset. I was like, I'm never going to drink because I want to live as long as possible. But then you learn things like a glass of red wine can make you healthier, right? It has certain properties to it that is good for your heart. But then if you drink a whole bunch of wine, if you drink a bottle of wine a night, then that might not be so good for you. Some people do that. Like your great-grandmother, she's about to be 100 years old.
She's going to be 100 in November.
And she can knock back moonshine.
She is such a, she's not even a drinker, you know? But she just has this, immense tolerance for everything. Yeah. It's crazy. We were there she lives in Switzerland. We were there in 2017, me and my dad, and she's like, oh, you want to try this moonshine? And my dad takes a shot and is coughing for 5 minutes afterwards, and she pounds one back, and she's like, another pounds back, My dad was like, oh my god, I think that's just 100% alcohol. He said it was so horrible. Yeah. And she was like, no problem.
I wonder where she got it. Did she make it herself?
It's so funny. And she's so tough though, so tough, and also a little bit stubborn. I think you have to be stubborn to live that long.
Yeah, that's true.
She was like, I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
If you guys.
Yeah.
If you death.
Yeah.
Although now she's like, okay, 100's a little old.
Yeah. It's like that video you showed me of that woman who's they're like, happy birthday, and she's like, thank you. I hope this is my last. And then they cut off the video, turn it off.
It's so funny. It's funny because she's such a sweet little old lady. She's like, thank you so much. I hope this is my last.
Yeah.
I love TikTok. I'm addicted.
Yeah, me too. I take breaks from it, and then I go back on. I'm like, oh my god, I can't stop.
I've made a video on my channel trying to get TikTok famous in a week. I kind of, I didn't really do it.
You should do another one.
I know, I should. Right now, that one that had the most, when I uploaded that video, it had 150,000 views, I think, or 140,000. Now it has
220. I checked today.
220,000 views. Yeah. And then I have a new one that has, I think, 20,000, something like that, 19,000. It's crazy how you can get views so easy. I wish you could get that on YouTube.
Yeah. Me too. I think people should try things at home. This is back to the social isolating thing. Self-isolating, social distancing, social isolating, self-distancing.
Socializing.
I think people should try things, remember things you did when you were a kid. Drawing. I used to, maybe I should do this here. When I was a kid, I used to raid the recycling bin and build marble circuits. So I would go on the stairs and I would put build tubes out of newspaper and make things that would make the marble do a loop-de-loop and
we'll need to get marbles.
Yeah, oh, we don't have any marbles. I lost my marbles. And I would just make different tracks for it. And I spent hours doing that. That was so much fun.
For me, I like taking the cardboard from stuff and lay it flat and just paint on it.
Yeah, that's fun.
This is a time where you don't have to be good at anything. Just draw for the sake of drawing. You don't have to be good.
Or sit down and write. Everyone's saying, everyone in the film industry is oh, Shakespeare wrote King Lear during the plague.
While he was in quarantine.
Yeah, so take that as you will. I mean, I am actually taking a little bit of a break from writing right now, but I want to get back to it very soon.
You could also do some courses. I'm taking a course on FutureLearn right now. They have a bunch of free courses. If you like need something to do. I really like to like absorb information, especially when I'm bored. It's like I just need something to like discipline me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
School does that.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
There's a lot of people like going out still, even though they shouldn't. I think we should just be careful.
You can still go out, but just like don't have parties. Don't go out to bars. I mean, you can't really anymore. A lot of bars are closed here.
Yeah.
Or like they just do takeout and stuff.
Yeah.
But like you can still go for walks. You can still go for a bike ride. It's just the social thing. Like
yeah.
Don't be within 6 feet of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of stores, like I noticed this at the liquor store the other day, they have like squares on the floor. It's like the guy's like, "Can you stand in the square?" I'm like, "What square?" And then I looked down. I was like, "Oh, there's squares like in the line where you line up." So that's.
They have that at Starbucks too.
They have that at Starbucks now too. Yeah. Even though I think Starbucks are closing soon, right?
Yeah, well, apparently they're not closing all of them. Some of them are staying open, but only for takeout.
Okay.
So I think it's probably the ones in stores. Like we have some in Safeways. We have some, you know what I mean? Those ones are probably staying open.
Yeah. Draw yourself a bath. Put on some spa music. Do some like self-care.
Yeah.
Self-isolating, but with care. Right? If you have a significant other, get them to give you a massage. Or a bro that's willing to do that, get them to give you a massage.
Yeah.
And, you know, give yourself that needed time. Some self-love. Yeah.
I've also started bullet journaling.
Yeah.
I ordered some tape, and apparently it arrived yesterday, but it wasn't here, so I don't really know.
Yeah, that's weird.
And that really makes me upset, because so many things haven't been getting delivered to me. I don't know why. I ordered a Christmas present for my best friend in November, and it didn't arrive, so the woman sent me another one, and it didn't arrive, so she sent me another one, but with track shipping, and they apparently tried to deliver it. They never did, though. It had my buzzer number, and it had... They didn't leave a slip. They didn't try to buzz me. I was home all day. And they sent it back to her. But if they sent the other 2 back to her, why didn't she get them? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. It's something weird's going on with our mail.
Yeah.
Anyway.
If you guys have any ideas, things that we haven't suggested of things to do when you're kind of have nothing to do, do you have any unique ideas of things that you do that when you're bored?
Or non-unique. If we missed it, let us know. Or if you want to tell us what you've been doing, and we did mention it, just still let us know what you've been doing. We want to hear.
Yeah.
I might do some painting today.
Yeah.
I had it on my schedule for yesterday to dance. Pardon me, but we didn't do it.
Well, we should dance today then. We have a chin-up bar that we put up in the doorway. Just do a few chin-ups here and there, pull-ups. That's helpful, keeping yourself physically active.
Yeah.
What else? We talked about cooking.
You can do so many things. You can learn to sew, learn to knit.
Yeah, learn new things.
Cross-stitch.
Learn about new things like for example, this isn't because of the virus, but this year I've really gotten into watches. And learned a lot about watches that I would have never known about before.
Something that's been calling my name is this group of friends on TikTok are having PowerPoint night. So they pick a topic, like why this breed of dog is the worst dog, and why this breed of dog is the best dog, and they do a PowerPoint presentation on it.
That's good practice for not even students, but anybody, right?
Yeah.
Take something and try and create it almost like a persuasive essay, but in PowerPoint form. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Yeah. I like that.
It's really funny. I was like, I want to do that, and I was like, but it's just you and me. What would we do? Whereas they have 5 people who are all quarantining together. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, or find a group of people on Discord or something like that who would be willing to do that with you, because you could just get on Skype or Zoom or something like that and do exactly the same thing.
Find a pen pal.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I want a pen pal.
I might try Omegle or something. I've never used Omegle before.
God. It's just all
dudes.
Old men.
Old men. Okay, never mind then. There are things like that, though, that aren't so creepy. Like, you know, where you, like, randomly meet people online.
Well, I
that's,
met someone on
chatting.
Omegle when I was a teenager that I became friends with.
That's cool.
But...
things like that, but safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's crazy. Right now, I don't know if it's just our age, but I feel like we've been looking back on our lives and going, what the heck was I thinking? Or I was really like that. I just feel like I've been seeing a lot of that on social media where people are like, you know, if you look back on your life and you kind of cringe, it means you've grown as a person.
Yeah. I cringe at every single thing I've ever done. Because I have anxiety, it's like, I cringe about things I did yesterday. But also, I've been playing Subnautica, and I really like it.
Yeah, you should play some more. I want to watch you play.
It's so fun. I'm going to play it right now. Let's end the podcast.
Okay.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday in the comments, or I will come after you.
It's weird. Birthdays are so weird, and it's weird being 24. Like, do you ever think you turn an age and you go, I never thought I'd be this age? Because you kind of, like, when you thought about being that age, you never actually thought you'd get there. Not like that you never thought you'd get there at that age, but, like, you don't know what it would be like. So you kind of only see it from the earlier perspective.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't understand it.
I don't know. It's just a bit weird.
For me, I guess it's like... I don't know. I guess I kind of understand. Like, I saw 25 as, like, really old when I was younger. So now that I'm almost there, I'm like...
I think for me, it's like, when I was younger, I saw 25 as still kind of young.
Oh, well,
but
that's
now
good.
I'm almost 25, and I'm like, I feel old. How old am I going to feel when I'm 50?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, now we're living so long, it's like... You still got like 76 more years to go.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing is, my dad, who's almost 70 himself, has said to me recently, he still feels like an 18-year-old. Right? So it's just, I think whenever you mentally or emotionally mature, you're kind of always there.
My dad says that too.
Yeah.
He says he still feels like an 18-year-old, like as his like mind, you know what I mean?
His thought processes and stuff.
Yeah, whereas like in his body he doesn't feel like an 18-year-old, of course. No. Like
he's always like, oh, this is old. I'm tired. Well, that's
I'm tired all the time.
Yeah, me too.
I think that's just life.
Although
I think when you're over 21, you're just tired all the time.
Here's something to maybe end the podcast with.
Okay.
Take this time, this extra time that we have right now, to self-reflect. And don't necessarily think you need to make any drastic changes, but find something that will make you happier.
Absolutely.
Right? I found that when I was working my other job, like, I still am technically employed there, and I will go back to work there occasionally, but I found myself being so tired from doing very little work. And then this other job where I'm working way more, maybe it's not as physically demanding or whatever, but I have a little bit more energy. I have a little bit more life in me. I'd sit at work, I'd write, I'd do homework when I'm not, needed. And I'd feel inspired. I would approach people that I look up to and ask them questions. And I feel like I have more life in me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a real strong attest to, if you're not feeling good, maybe you need to change your approach, look at things differently, do things a little bit differently. And like I said, you don't need to make any drastic changes in your life, but maybe
start small.
Start small. Change some habits. Develop new ones, new good habits.
I find what helps me is changing my routine. Because I always say, I don't have a routine, but really my routine is stay in bed all day. Mm-hmm. And that's not healthy. If I don't work, I'm in bed all day. Yeah. And a lot of the time I won't eat very much during the day. And for this, we have a quarantine routine now, mm-hmm. and it's get up at 9 a.m. no matter how late we stay up.
Yep. Open the curtains,
have a shower. That's it. And for me, that's really huge because I usually have a bath at 5 p.m. every day. Yeah. So getting up and having a shower in the morning is crazy.
Yeah.
But it makes a world of difference just having a new routine like that.
Yeah. It's interesting how you think you don't have a routine, but your routine is not having a routine.
Well, your routine is something that you don't consider a routine, but it actually is a routine.
Yeah. All right, there you go. Try and stay positive, people.
Yeah.
It's a really hard time for a lot of people. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, we don't have a charity this week, but if you have some extra money and you feel like you want to help some people, you can donate to your local food bank, or you can just support your local businesses. They're hurting real bad right now. Mm-hmm. Support artists. You can still like buy people's stuff online, stuff like that. Subscribe to people's Patreons or to Twitch. Or so support small content creators, support artists, support your local businesses.
Yeah.
And stay safe out there, guys.
Yeah. We love you.
Yeah.
And be kind.
Mm-hmm. And don't freak out too much.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be okay.
Yeah. No hoarding.
No hoarding.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.